So there's a lot of discussions going on in the comments about time. And, some people are assuming that, we're running out of time in this crypto market cycle and we need to make a move by this date. Otherwise it's over. And I completely disagree. In fact, we have all the time in the world. And I really want to break this down for people because I do believe that this is the cycle to end all cycles. And there's a couple different ways that this could play out. But what I want to point to is what we are most closely mimicking from the past and how this could obviously affect the price of ADA. So if you guys are new or haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Hit that bell again. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So first of all, I'm not sure what everybody's concern with time is. We frankly have all the time in the world. We're getting into some of the best times in crypto history. And what I mean by that is we have major embrace coming to the crypto market via enterprise, via governments, via institutional players. Retail hasn't even really started to flock in a major way yet. What I mean by that is we're before mass adoption. I mean, we're here early. All right, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We are here very, very early. And this market is going to evolve a lot over time. And what that means is that we're here before some of the biggest price increases, before some of the biggest demand hits the market. And that is truly going to be exciting. And what I really want to point to is the fact that this cycle most closely mimics not the 2020, 2021 bull market. It's actually the 2016, 2017 bull market. Why I'm talking about this is a lot of people are referencing, we need to make a move by the end of April or by May. If not, the cycle's dead. We're going into a bear market and blah, blah, blah. So first of all, when we take a look at 2017, what we actually saw was major boom in the middle of the year. We saw 5 straight months of almost just parabolic growth throughout the space. For example, this is Bitcoin returns from back in 2017. You guys can see April was a 32% increase, May 52%, June 10%. When June is historically not a great month for crypto. Okay. July 17%, August 65%. Here's the thing. We are seeing such a major shift in the macro, and we are seeing such a major shift in the crypto market that type of parabolic growth may in fact be ahead of us. We're talking about a lot of capital that's currently entering the crypto market, like we discussed earlier today. We talked about the big breakout versus the stock market. That's a great historic sign. Institutional money continues to buy over the counter. We're seeing Bitcoin supply and exchanges continue to dwindle. I know a lot of that stuff is going to sound kind of redundant, but the point I want to make is everything is kind of shifting. Global liquidity on the rise. We're accelerating towards quantitative easing and interest rate decreases. I mean, there's almost everything is working in our favor right now. But the problem that people seem to forget is it takes time for that stuff to start affecting the markets. It's not an instant flip of a switch and we send, okay? It's more of a gradual bottom, and then we start to accelerate, and then we get into adoption. And what I'm trying to say here is we don't need to make a move by May. Okay. I think we will. I think by the end of April, we're already starting to run across the space. And what this means is, again, like we talked about earlier today, in those heightened times of excitement, that's where ADA can start to make some of those more aggressive moves. I still think the first half of this year, we're talking about a new all-time high in terms of ADA, and it's going to surprise a lot of people. It's going to catch a lot of people off guard. But there was something else I wanted to talk about specifically in terms of time. People keep referencing these specific timeframes, and there's one of two things that's playing out. Okay. I believe that this is the cycle that we are going to break the 4-year cycle. And whether that is the case now, and we've broken the cycle, which I don't think is the case at all. The signs are not pointing to that, or whether it's later on this market cycle, that means that we have some exciting times ahead. First of all, if we're breaking the cycle now, great. Then we're not falling into a bear market. We're going to see massive accumulation in these big dips that we're even standing in right now, which is already what we're starting to see. And then we may just go into this endless acceleration in terms of price. And I'm exaggerating. I think that there will be red and dips and everything along the way. But even if now we continue and we see massive booms in the summer months here, and we get to the latter part of this year, that may be also where we break the market cycle. And why I'm saying that is when you start to get into mass adoption, you have the potential of turning into a crypto super cycle, like we've talked about in the past, where the flows are just too big. There's so much accumulation taking place that you don't see the historic dips that you would normally see. And the entities that are entering the space now, and specifically, I'm talking about institutional money, enterprises, they will not let a multi-year bear market cycle happen. Apart from a complete economic meltdown and global recession, that is likely not happening. We're too big. We're too big of a market now. Okay. There's too much optics. There's too much interest. The cat is out of the bag. There are still people dragging their feet to get in, which is why we have still the opportunity for huge explosive growth ahead. But we need to read the room. We need to look at the bigger picture of things. And what this means is that we are going to have massive runs in the future. And it's really just a question of when is it going to be? Do we see some next massive runs in the middle of this year? Do we see some massive runs next month? Do we see some massive runs later on in this year? But what is most likely going to happen, and again, there's no guarantees, this isn't financial advice or anything like that, is continued parabolic growth. Now, why that's so important for ADA is, again, Cardano has made major strides to get to this point where, from a technical standpoint, it is a sound product where it has the major scalability and 100% uptime and perfect security and is decentralized. And what that leads to is the major adoption of the Cardano ecosystem. And people can complain about, stables or TVL or users or whatever. And frankly, that stuff's not going to matter when you have big adoption from large entities, when you have big adoption from government, from enterprises, because it accelerates things. It is an accelerant, okay? We are in the greatest market cycle, and it may not look like it right now, but we are in the greatest market cycle we will have ever seen. We're talking about growth from right now only about $2.64 trillion in terms of the global market cap of crypto to, again, over $10 to $12 trillion. By the end of next market cycle, they're talking aggressive estimates, $100 trillion, conservative estimates, $30 trillion. Those are big numbers. That's over a 10x in the global market cap of crypto. And for something like ADA, with big integrations, with big adoption taking place, you're talking about something climbing from an area of about 0.88% global dominance right now to back into the 4-5% range. This is not unheard of stuff. This isn't that hard to comprehend. Maybe it is for some people. Maybe they've never seen global adoption take place on markets before. And this is just the growing pains that we go through. And unfortunately, right now, a lot of the loud stuff is stuff that may seem like it's going to hold the market down forever. It's not, okay? In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a couple months down the road and it was just noise. And it's over and the market's booming. And frankly, nobody cares about it anymore. It's one of those reference points we can look back to and say, oh yeah, it was the COVID crash. Oh yeah, it was the FTX thing, right? That frankly has no impact on the future bearing of the market. So I appreciate you guys as always. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below, but have a great day. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.